coming off like a really hard day at work, and my homie just like, he was being annoying the entire time. I was just like hyped to get off, and I already had shrooms like in my possession. I was probably gonna do it with like friends or something, but it was COVID. I didn't really want to be hanging out with people, so I just thought, fuck it, I'm gonna take like an 8, which is a lot for like a first time thing.
Is shrooms like cause I have a homie that takes shrooms. They're not like regular mushrooms kind of, but they're not like, it doesn't seem like they're the same texture.
Yeah, they're super dry and they smell like fucking feet. They're nasty.
Yeah, it's just
so I ate them with like banana bread because they taste like absolute ass and they're all like dusty and dried. Yeah. And I remember I was just sitting there, I was like watching Into the Spider-Verse, like one of the best animated movies, like to watch when you're high. It's insane. And the visuals were like going crazy like in the movie, but I wasn't seeing anything yet. And as soon as it gets to the part where they're in the super collider, I start like feeling what he's feeling, so I have like the spidey sense kind of thing. Really? And there's like, the artwork is kind of getting a little bit vivid. And I'm starting to like get sick, because that's like basically what shrooms are, like you kind of feel like sick. Yeah. It's not like that with acid really, but with shrooms you get like, kind of like a bloated feeling.
Is shrooms like what do they call it? It's like a... Psychedelic, so it just messes with your brain and shit.
Yeah, and you get like...
It's like you start seeing shit and like maybe stuff will move, but it really doesn't. Yeah, it's just like a bad high.
Exactly, yeah. But people also do it for like...
Just get away.
Exactly, yeah. It's like, you can have like very like profound trips and like learn about yourself. And that's what I was trying to do basically, but I went and do it like kind of pissed off because I had like a really bad day at work.
Bad mindset.
I was in like a bad mindset, I just felt like alone. So I took them alone and I got fucked up for that. So I was having a good time so far. I'm like, I have like this book, it's got like some crazy artwork in it. I'm looking at this one and it's got like dragons in like a circle and they're like starting to move and starting to change colors. I'm just like staring at it. And it's a black and white photo, but they're starting to change colors, and then I blink and it's like back to black and white. I'm like, shit. And then I start looking at it again. I'm like trying to make it do the thing. And they start moving again. I'm just like staring. And it was like one of the most insane things I've ever seen. It's like I just got lost in the colors for a second. Your mind looked away and it was back.
Your mind just racing.
Yeah.
My heartbeat would be pumping. I mean, I got scared. You know the freshman orientation we had last time?
Yeah.
Some chick scared the absolute shit out of me, and I guess that's how it would feel if I was in your moment.
Yeah,
I had chills because she scared me, bro.
Yeah, I was trying not to freak out, but I wasn't really like in an anxious. I was like an anxious state. I was more like in a depressed state, so it wasn't getting freaked out. I was more just getting like a little bit sad, but I wasn't having a bad trip yet. And I remember I went downstairs, I had like my AirPods in, I was listening to some Mac Miller, and I was just like on the I don't know how I ended up, I was on the bathroom floor, my head is down, and I'm listening to this like sad song, and I'm bawling my eyes out.
Homie was going for
yeah.
it. Well, I was for you, dog.
Yeah, I know, I wish anyone was there for me, but it was 1 a.m. and I didn't even tell anyone I took it. And I was bawling my eyes out about my ex, and it felt like I got closure in the moment, which is nice. Like after the song ended, I wasn't really crying that much anymore.
I heard psychedelics. I mean, I've heard good friend, he'll probably be watching this. He's taken it, and he said he had the time of his life. It's either you have the time of your life with drugs or alcohol, or it's you end up hungover and you end up, you know, need to go to the hospital because something like that happened. It's one or the other.
Yeah, the bad stuff you never ever forget. That's the shitty part. And then I was just chilling on the floor of my kitchen, and that's where the visuals were really looking nice. Like I have like kind of like a speckled cabinet, and it's like light brown.
Was it moving?
Yeah, there were like faces in there. Like imagine like kind of like Aztec artwork, where there's like it's kind of like Native American, sort of like that. And there's faces, and it's kind of flowy. It looks like kind of like little ants were crawling, like little like white glowing ants were walking on it.
Your mind was tripping.
Yeah, and that was like the craziest thing. That was probably the peak of it, because nothing was going bad yet, and it was like just straight visuals. Yeah. And I was listening to wave noises in my headphones, and then just like imagining like waves like washing over me as I'm laying on the floor. And I'm starting to get like a little bit hot, so I go outside. I'm looking at like the stars, and they're looking pretty. I go back inside, and I'm feeling like the main character of like my own story, which is kind of, it feels nice because I feel like I'm like a fucking hero in like Lord of the Rings or something. And I go back upstairs, and I'm in bed, and I'm just sweaty all of a sudden, and I'm just like imagine like your thoughts are just like a PowerPoint slideshow and it's just going like that, and I'm having like a new like picture in my head or a new thought like every second, and I couldn't even like control my thoughts. It was like weird, like pictures and colors and shit.
I have that shit when I'm overthinking. Like,
yeah.
If I'm like really just stressing, my head starts to beat really fast and my heart starts to beat really fast, and then I just like close my eyes and it's always like every bad thought I've ever thought of just comes to my head.
Yeah, and it's like it's fast and they don't really make sense.
Yeah.
And I'm just like I'm sweating bullets, and the more I sweat, the more anxious I get because I'm feeling like I'm dehydrated and some shit. Because I feel like I'm actually gonna die. Or honestly, I was thinking it was gonna be worse than death. I thought I was like gonna be a vegetable, basically. Because I didn't want like one trip to fuck me up.
You were so tripped out, you thought you would be a vegetable.
Yeah. Oh man, I was going through it, and I tried to find like something on YouTube to help me calm down, and I was on like restricted mode, so I couldn't like find anything about shrooms or anything. And I was so anxious. I was like, I can't be a vegetable. I can't like wake up and be a vegetable.
Just a carrot. Just
yeah, right. Just like I can't do shit. I'm just like staring at the ceiling. So I'm like, I have to tell my parents, basically, or I'm just gonna be in this hell for like hours. And I walked into their room and I was like, I just took like shrooms and I feel like I'm gonna die. And they were actually really nice. They let me like sleep in their bed.
You're lucky because some parents will be like, get the fuck out of
here.
here.
Yeah, they could have whooped my ass easily if I was.
But they just trying to teach you a lesson.